Ba-dum bum bum bum. Slap back, chat frat. Slap back, chat frat. Slap back, jelly frat. Slap back, jelly frat. Slap back.
Hi, welcome back to Slapback Chat Frat. This week we are back with our two top tip guests slash hosts, Mr. Joe Butterball and also Mr. D.W. White. Cow, what's on?
What's up, internet?
What's been happening?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Ice Bucket Challenge. Twitter. Bing. There we go. I'm just FaceTime. I'm just saying some stuff because if you say some stuff like some key buzzwords,
Boom.
it'll grab the attention of the younger generation. Facebook.
Yeah.
And
Upload.
also Wi-Fi. And also modem.
You dirty
But
boy.
Also, whatever AI bot is listening will go, they said a load of buzzwords at the beginning.
Catch on, yeah.
I'll promote this on all the relevant places because they said modem. So so I'm just getting those in there early so that our AI overlords can help promote the show.
I think it's going to be really interesting. Whenever this show kicks off, people will be able to retrospectively look back and see like how ahead of the game we were at the time. Obviously, we're probably by the time it catches up, we might be behind the time. But at the time, we were ahead of the game.
I think we should also, for the people who are new to it, who are just kind of going back through it, I think we should do like a super cut of every episode put together, but in kind of fast forward, but like fast forwarding kind of by, 50 times the speed.
Yeah.
So that you could see a group of young, fresh-faced men just slowly decay before your eyes.
Fattening and then just folding and then greying and dying.
Yeah, like.
And it should also just stop. It should stop
guy
randomly every kind of 30 seconds, so that you get like a 10-second snippet of whatever bullshit we were talking about, and then you're on.
Yes, yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's like Eddie Murphy.
Ghostbusters 5.
Yeah.
What was it
Okay,
you
so
were
that's your job for the next couple of years, Dan. Is that cool?
The supercut. Yeah, I reckon.
Add some fire in there. Occasional explosions.
Bam! CGI.
Yeah.
I reckon it's gonna be quite amazing.
No, I don't want CGI. I want
Old school.
original Star Wars style old effects, special effects.
Yes, yeah. I'll
So
get
just
on that.
you and a lighter and a can of Lynx, and just occasionally do.
Fireball.
And you make and it's you making the sound of the explosion off screen.
Bang!
Bang.
Ugh. That sounds amazing.
Quite a treasure trove of our shared history we're creating, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the greatest, longest, time capsule that contains genuine, snapshots of who we are. Like, that video you found of 99 or whatever? It's like that, but the mega version. Yeah,
should we put that up on YouTube and call that Slapback Zero?
Yeah, I think, actually, I've got a feeling it got... When I uploaded it for you and put it onto the unlisted, it was flagged as unwatchable.
It got forcibly taken down. I got an email about it.
Yeah.
Because it showed inappropriate content with children in it.
Yes, we were those children.
We were those children, but yeah. But
the young version of us doing stupid shit was not appropriate.
Yeah, maybe some I don't know, swearing or who knows, but
it was botties, wasn't it? It was bongos, I think was the problem.
Yeah, probably. But yes, that got taken down. So I could blur that out and put it back up because it's a shame not to have that readily available for everyone.
Dave's being blocked, cancelled.
Monster.
Dave's been cancelled from the internet.
He's been cancelled.
Dave's been live cancelled. He's like, the AI is like is already reaching into our very live stream as it's happening, and
This is my overlord. Oh, no, there we are. 4 on the screen.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say, it's going to be an interesting time capsule, isn't it? I'm constantly find myself embarrassed about everything that I say, and yet I don't change. So it's an interesting evidence of.
What's interesting is that kind of reflection in the moment where you're like, every time I say stuff now, or that not every time, but I'm quite often thinking, oh, I'm not going to enjoy watching this back in 50 years.
I'm not going to enjoy watching this back tomorrow. Yeah, I know. We were talking.
But you're especially in 2023, you occasionally say something and think, that's not going to age well.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought about the episode we did about the Italians the other week. That was
yeah. If anyone watched this, we would have a hit out on us right now.
Yeah, right. Thank God our anonymity is reigning supreme.
Despite our best efforts to be publicly known on the internet, thank God that it hasn't caught on, because we would have various people upset with us. I mean, probably Eddie Murphy for one. He would be.
I think Eddie Murphy would be like, "You, the true believers. You were there in the dark times when times were bad. We were there."
He's had a bit of a comeback, and I like to think that we had a small part to play in that.
Yeah, I know in reality that no one watches our show. However, sometimes when you put an idea out into the world, you create the seed. And
it's a cosmic resonance.
Yeah.
It's out there, and it's just the vibrations of Eddie Murphy.
Awaken the ears of inspiration and creativity. And then, what's that? A writer's listening on the wind. Eddie Murphy, yeah. Type. Murder, She Wrote. Eddie Murphy. Boom. Murder, She Wrote 2. That would be great, wouldn't it? If Eddie Murphy as Angela Lansbury.
I'd watch it. I'd absolutely watch that.
I mean, his range is insane. And I think... like a sort of Miss Doubtfire situation, we could.
I'd like him to play it straight as Angela Lansbury, though. No big voices. Just doing his best attempt to purely replicate Lansbury.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with that.
God rest his
how are you guys? How's your last few weeks been?
Yeah, I've had a bit of a dark time recently. Actually, I've been. George has been quite poorly, which has been quite traumatic. It's been lots of vet and worry and poorly George, and so already his quite gross list of cleaning requirements have increased, and his maintenance and care requirements have gone up. So it's included cleaning his bumhole on a sort of daily basis, because he's just pooing all over himself because he's got upset stomach. So I have to get him into the water and sort of clean his bum of all the poo and stuff, and he's just pooing everywhere because he's got upset tummy. So just poos.
Is it anything serious? Is he okay?
I think he's okay. I've had to syringe medicine into his mouth, which, if you can imagine, he doesn't like that. So he's quite a difficult character to care for. So that's been a bit sad, but he's getting a bit better. So good George, get well soon. But that's been my since last time.
Poorly hedgehogs. Give him a little
kiss.
I don't know, what do you do with a hedgehog? Little kiss?
A little blow, a little kissy. Yeah, I don't know. Just give him a little stroke, a little pat. He is.
How about you, Dave? What news from you?
What news? So I've been continuing my acting improv adventures. And as you know, Joe, because you were there, we did our end of course showcase on Tuesday, and a bumper crowd of approximately 15 people were thoroughly entertained. Shame on those who missed out, really. But I felt that people laughed, and ultimately.
Well, I was going to say, if it makes you feel any better, I heard a bunch of people that I didn't, not that were in our group, talking afterwards, and they all said to a person that it was absolutely tolerable. So
Yeah.
So that's that's the word on the street. Entirely tolerable.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm aiming for. I think it's the best I can reasonably expect is people to tolerate me in every aspect of my life, really, but especially
not a single boo. The last time that guy stood up, cried and said, "Why are you doing this?" Nothing like that this time.
Was anyone sick this time?
No sickness at all.
No Rotten Tomatoes hurled from the crowd, which is good job too, really, because under the lights wouldn't have had a clue who it came from. So bit surprised with Rich being there. He didn't bring any rotten vegetables to throw.
What topics would you say, like, without being cancel culture, like let's avoid that, but like what topics would be wrong or would be impossible for improv? The first one I can think of is like. What's it called? Internal combustion. That as like as a premise. Is it
spontaneous?
Yeah, spontaneous. Yeah, spontaneous combustion. Yeah, like as a topic could be quite.
Internal combustion would be even harder because
like become a car.
You really have to let people know you're internally combusting without saying. I'm internally combusting.
Like that's the
very hard to do that through kind of mime and gesture. Well, Dave was saying that he made an interesting point because two of the people who got given a scene were in a canoe, and I hadn't even thought about this, but Dave said afterwards that they told that part of the training was like, don't get put in a situation or avoid situations where you're not facing each other, because you kind of can't play off each other.
Yeah.
So the worst you can be is like your backs to each other, essentially. And that was great. That was a really funny scene. So they managed. Didn't even occur to me watching it that actually that's quite a difficult kind of scenario to kind of find humour in.
Back of your head looks nice.
Yeah, I think they really nailed it. They played a couple who were estranged, but had still had to go on this canoeing holiday with each other, and they really observed the kind of awkwardness and kind of caustic atmosphere beautifully. But yeah, in terms of other things, we had quite a long conversation last week about gender, and obviously a kind of
hot topic.
Hot topic, potentially difficult, and there's no rules in improv to say that you can't play a different gender, and I think the kind of conclusion that we came to was, one of the guys was like, well, if I'm kind of a woman, then do I kind of like make my voice falsetto, and I think that the most important thing really is just to avoid the playing a different gender becoming the butt of the joke. But some of the women made the point that like, so for example, they might be a captain of a navy ship, a battleship or something, and then somebody else in the scene might automatically assume that they are playing a man, because that would be historically kind of typically a male role. Why can't I play the captain of a battleship and still be a woman? So yeah, it was an interesting conversation, and I think that and another thing that they do tell us is, because it's improv, things come out, you know, things get said, and you're reacting, you're spontaneous, you haven't got really a lot of time to kind of plan what you're going to say. A lot of time it's just kind of trusting in where you're going and reacting. And yeah, I mean, it's quite a forgiving environment, in as much as if somebody does say something which somebody else finds offensive, then, you know, we do talk about it. We don't kind of nobody gets scolded. It's just kind of like observed and put in a box, and then, you know, kind of put away. But yeah, it could certainly envisage a situation. I've never experienced it myself, but certainly envisage a situation where some awkward things come out spontaneously. But I suppose there's some obvious things that you can avoid, and I think gender stereotypes is certainly a good one to kind of stay away from.
Is that something that you like? You mentioned you had a chat about it last week, but is that something that's come up previously about? Because there's, like, you know, about certain things to kind of avoid, or that could be like, because I would be terrified that in the heat of the moment I would do something unforgivable. Is
there always a tiny percentage of your brain that just is worried, like as there should be, that like if this goes unfiltered at free fall, that something could slip out, like a faux pas?
Yeah,
or a willy.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I mean that's why I always wear drawstring trousers. No danger of anything slipping out in that regard. But yeah, it is a worry, and I think that you kind of deal with it by remembering that it is a very forgiving environment. Yeah. And you know, nobody, as I said, is scolded or lectured. It's discussed in a kind of, I think you have to be able to listen to someone who says, you know, I'm not okay with that, but not take it as a personal attack, but to more kind of say, you know, yeah, I hear you, and, you know, I will remember that going forward. But if we were all completely terrified of what we were going to say, you know, in the kind of way that you were expressing, then yeah, we would lose something, because you would automatically lose the spontaneity, and fear would creep in, and yeah, you'd start thinking about what you were going to say before actually saying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's balance, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So what's next in your improv journey, Dave?
Well, I'm having a little summer hiatus to recharge my creative batteries.
Yeah.
But
get some stories, get the creative juices flowing from experiential living.
Allow myself to maybe go and see, you know, imbibe myself into different cultures and peoples and things, and go back fresh for the autumn season. But I'm sure I'll do another course. I do really enjoy it. I mean, ultimately, it's a rare opportunity as an adult to spend 2.5 hours being very, very silly each week. So there's a lot of joy in that. There's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of feeling of kind of freedom and embracing like an inner child, and also, you know, that inner critic. And actually, maybe the inner critic probably does come up sometimes, but the inner censor, I think, is the thing that, you know, improv almost forces you to maybe not worry less about. So yeah, there's a lot of joy.
Have you seen, you know, the people who teach you and all that kind of stuff? Have you seen them perform?
Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
I've been to a few shows at the Improv Theatre, and you know, they are very, very good. You know, they are working on a different level. I think it really helps when you're working with the same people week in, week out. That really helps, you know, who you're working with, how they're going to react, where they might go, and there's I think that makes for better improv, certainly. But yeah, they're very good. They're very funny, and I do recommend, if you ever get the opportunity, to go and see any of the shows there, you know, they're always great. It's a lovely little theatre. I think it only seats about 120 people, so it's very intimate. You're right there in the face of the crowd. It's obviously very interactive, which is a lot of fun. I think to my knowledge, it's the only place in Bristol that you can kind of see improv shows. So yeah, it's a great place to visit for the shows as well.
There would be a part of me that would want to do something like the Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. Do you know what I mean? The kind of like
the time
out, like, you know, like. Do you know what I mean? that would tickle me. Or there's an episode of Erie, Indiana, where he's in the episode and then he breaks free of the episode and then he tries to find the writers and then he finds the cast of the episode and they're all treating him like he's the actor of. It's really good. It's like the best. It's the best. That show is like the greatest kids show ever. Erie, Indiana.
Oh yeah, Erie, Indiana was great. You would be so fucking hard to improv with because you'd be like, right, I'm going to do a high concept Erie, Indiana show. You probably aren't going to understand what I'm doing because I'm referencing a specific episode from a kid show from the 90s.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of back information, doesn't it? I'm going to give you a little pamphlet.
Also, it would be really funny to give that, just like, you know, in the scene, like, you know, and welcome to the hotel. Right, okay.
Just one sec.
Right, just to kind of preface what I'm about to do. Hands up who's seen Erie, Indiana.
Okay, I see there's one of you. Yeah, great.
Okay, so, all right, so not many people. Let me just get the Wikipedia up. So Erie, Indiana was... Right, okay, so now you know what Erie, Indiana is. Right,
this
we're going to go
episode.
to season 3, episode 2. Don't worry, this will all make sense when I start doing what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it'll pay off. Yeah, it's in the
right,
post.
so I'm doing it like that episode where he breaks through the episode. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, and see.
Yeah, that's pretty meta.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. When I was little, I lived in Minions, and I had made sort of you know when you're like small and you make friends with people just by speaking to them. Oh, I made a friend today. Well, I met this kid at, like, I don't know where he was from, but he ended up knocking on my door and he was like, I've told this story before, and he basically said he put a magic curse on me. I don't know. Do you remember this?
I don't remember this.
He said he flew over my gate. He said, I've flown over your gate and I've come round here and I'm going to put a magic curse on you. And we'd obviously fallen out or something. For some reason he's putting a magic curse on me. And I was just like, what?
It explains a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Look at what's happened to me all these years.
I remember in primary school when telling people that they had fleas was a big thing.
Yeah, right.
You got fleas, and then they would, you know,
touch
if
someone
they came
else
near you, you'd go like, flea force field, and no one could penetrate the flea force field with their fleas.
I
remember this.
Field.
You didn't know about it?
No, I always end up with the fleas. I never had a flea force field.
Big mistake, Dave.
This is why you're so successful now, Joe.
It's literally just that flea force field. You can once you
see the trick, it's so obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it takes a little bit of time to it's all in the it's all in the kind of suddenness. You've really got to be kind of reacting fast, but you'll get there, mate. I reckon. A few years of trying, but this one kid, Gary. Well, I won't give his second name, but he was always being told that he had fleas, and like the little shit that I was, one day I said to him, I joined in, I jumped on that nasty little bandwagon, and I went, "You got fleas." And I thought that's good. I've heard other people do this. It looks great.
Yeah, I want to get my status up.
Yeah, I want to get my status up by
one person.
You. There's nowhere down for you to go. So this is really a win-win because you can't go any lower, and I'm gonna just
one space up.
And he did a brilliant thing. He went, not only do I have fleas, I can turn into a flea. I've got magic powers. And I was like,
shit.
What? He was like, yeah, that's right. I can turn into a flea and I can transform at any moment and I can disappear because I can be so small and then I can retransform, or I can transform into a full-size flea of it, like a flea the size of a human being.
That's
and
pretty...
jump over buildings. And I was just like, mate, you've just spun that like a fucking legend.
Same kid who cursed Dan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a fucking baller, this guy. He's absolutely nailed that,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
I was very, not only was I very impressed, but I think I was about 5.
Yeah.
So I also believed him. I was like, Jesus Christ, all right, well, I better leave you
Whoa!
alone. Yeah. Well, I didn't realise I was dealing with
I fucked up. I fucked up.
That's with the wrong kid.
Yeah, I didn't realise I was dealing with a flea transformer.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry, all right? Just don't fuck me up.
Okay. Like, does Flea Force Field still work against human-sized fleas? I don't know.
I eat flea force fields for breakfast, mate. That's why I'm a flea.
Yeah. But I was evidently quite gullible because I was also told by a friend of mine who got put into a special class for people who, needed a bit more support with reading and that kind of thing. And he must have been a bit embarrassed about it. I was like, why do you go to that? Why do you get taken out of our class and go into that class? And he was like, well, don't tell anyone else this, but the special education teacher, she's like my cover and I'm a superhero. So every time I go to that class,
saving the world, saving
she
lives.
Comes and gets me. She's like my handler, kind of like my agent. Like
I love these people. Are awesome. Like they're really.
It's brilliant, isn't it? But, and she was like, he was, basically kind of like saying, she would come and be like, something terrible was going down in Pennsylvania. You've got to get there fast. There's there's a drunk guy outside the pub.
There's a giant flea. There's a giant flea, man.
There's a giant flea on the loose. It's real. Yeah, but I was like now just tickled by like the amount of kind of crisis, like because obviously in Superman it's like there's some kind of mortal danger to everyone. In kind of rural edge of Bodmin Moor, Cornwall, surely the stakes are lower for what a superhero has to deal with.
Sheep man, sheep on the road man.
Premise for a film. Where you're like a superhero who's moved to Cornwall who's like,
I need a rural life.
Yeah, if you're here, can you go and deal with there's another emergency. Is it a bunch of dickheads outside a nightclub in Newquay again? Yeah. Go off you go.
Is it old Vera needs a pint of milk around in Pennsylvania because the shop's shut and it's gone and it's Sunday and it's 5 o'clock?
Yeah, I could just drive. I don't even need to fly. No, go on, mate.
Go on. She likes it. She loves your outfit.
And you can milk that cow faster than anyone else.
That was a bull.
Oh, I'd like to see a superhero film set in Cornwall.
Yeah, right. Yeah, super retirement.
Yeah, I can totally see, like a superhero wanting to, like, maybe reaching the twilight of their lives and wanting to wind down a little bit.
Michael Palin.
Kind of, expensive London apartment and move into a nice rural retreat, but still maybe gets a little bit bored with being fully retired and is like, actually, just going to kind of maybe sort out the traffic on the A38, or
like he starts in full retirement and he's like just got a checklist of things he wants to do in retirement. Go like, I want to go on a boat, I want to go and I want to sort the garage out, and like as each day he's ticking each one off, getting them done, and he's sort of all the news things are coming up on Cornwall Live, like A38 is blocked again, cows loose, and he's like
on the rampage in the centre of Truro, the capital city of Cornwall.
No one will do anything. We need a hero.
Who will save us?
Who will save us from this angry cow?
Moo will save us. Honestly, we are a cash cow, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think that these episodes will be worth money in retrospect to somebody. You know, the nuggets of information, the kind of the an AI is never going to come up with these ideas, is it? This is human.
No, because they learn by their mistakes. That is the crucial thing with AI.
Whereas, fortunately for us, we've got all of our mistakes ahead of us.
Yeah, and behind.
And behind us. And we learn from none of them.
Everywhere we look.
Learn nothing is my rule of thumb.
I heard an interesting thing about AI this morning, which was apparently Google released like a research paper a few years ago, which was the kind of the kind of catalyst for the switch in, you know, because since 2017, AI has kind of progressed like exponentially, and it's because there was like a different approach to it. Rather than like learning by mistakes, it switched to something like learning by smart prediction, you know.
Yeah,
so
yes,
kind of,
yeah.
So it reduced the kind of amount of computational power needed, and then it could, you know, grow exponentially by kind of, you know, by kind of also kind of learning. And Google released this research paper which basically showed the world how to do it, but their AI was kept internal, so they didn't release it to the world because the engineers kind of put some blocks on it and were like, I don't know if it's ready yet. We don't know the kind of
what it will do.
What it'll do, or the kind of ethical, or kind of, you know, what the ramifications of this are going to be. And like people like ChatGPT were like, oh, nice research paper.
We'll have that.
We can do that as well. And so like now there's this apparently huge kind of rift in Google where like they're split between no, it was the right thing to do ethically, and other people being like, mate, we've just been we developed this technology and innovation, and we've been absolutely kind of eradicated from the AI market because everyone, you know, so we're, you know,
they've got
we've kind of been left behind at least in the popular imagination.
Yeah, they have got their own AI project called Bard, and also ChatGPT was part of OpenAI. OpenAI originally, their original remit was that they were going to be an open source AI company. So basically, anybody could like see the code and sort of like use it and change it and do things with it. So and then they became a closed system and they're still under OpenAI, but they're not open at all. So they've lifted that, taken it, gone, we're going to be open, and then closed it. That's quite an interesting outcome, isn't it? Really. Although they did have AI for a while that was like chatting with people, and wasn't it telling people to go murder themselves and like quoting Hitler and all kinds of strange...
because it was learning from the interactions it had with other people who are
big
awful.
Mistake. Mistake. Never learn from people. Fuck me, Jesus. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
You used it to write Red Dwarf episodes, didn't you?
Yeah, I have. Did you hear about that, Dave?
Yeah, I think so.
Did I send those to you? I actually came up with
some I read them. They were like
pretty good, weren't they? They were pretty good. They were quite canon-y, weren't they?
As kind of
seedlings
story premises.
Yes, yeah.
You know, obviously, like it wasn't writing the interaction, which might take a bit more to be funny, but like as kind of story outlines, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's like, if you just showed me, I don't know, like the entire series 4 kind of a synopsis for each episode and slip one of them in there,
you would
and said
get
which
away
one
with
is not. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, if you took it as like a design document and sort of went, oh, we haven't fleshed it out, it's just the seed of the episode. Yeah, very much so. I said to it, like, could you do one that's like season 1 to 6? Because I wanted to send it to Dave. I was like...
I only watched season 1 to 6.
There is no. There
is no season 7.
I wonder how it would do with writing an original sitcom.
Yeah, right. Well, did you see the one that it did of Seinfeld? It took all of Seinfeld and it was making constant 24/7 AI Seinfeld. Did you see that?
Well, you sent it to me. I couldn't for some reason I couldn't link.
I
The
think
link
maybe,
didn't seem to work.
maybe it crashed or something, but it was just running on Twitch. They just loaded all of Seinfeld into it and just said make more Seinfeld, and they put a cartoon screen sort of to it, and it was crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. We could enter all of. In fact, I've asked it. Do you know about Slapback Chatfrat? And it knows that Slapback Chatfrat exists. And I've asked it to write episodes, and it's like it's
absolutely not. I have limits.
Yeah, and it has a good go. It has like a pretty crazy go at it.
What does it do? When you say write
episodes, it says the sexy funny one Dan comes on, and he's hilarious all the time. Non-stop.
So it is still learning.
Yeah, it's still quite fictional. Still quite fantasy.
It just change up.
I don't know. It takes any words that are assigned anywhere and like puts them in as the seedlings of information.
Wow. Maybe maybe in 15 years' time this will be entirely outsourced to AI, and we can just drop in to introduce it and sit back and watch that. Those sweet viewers roll in by the ones.
Yeah. But like, imagine how incredible a story it will be. It's almost as if like, when they did that film Boyhood, and they made a film over 12 years. Do you know about that, Joe?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, imagine in the future, right, when we're like, oh my god, we just had this brilliant idea. It was to go on for like the longest period of time, and we'd never write any of it, and then over all these years, and then at the end of it, we're gonna it's out there all the time, and it's always there. It's this little time capsule of magic that,
When do you think?
When's it all gonna kick in?
Will end. Like, do you think?
When the last one of us, when there's only 2 of us left, and then the last one dies, and then the last person gets all the riches.
I think if it's just one person left, they should be like
Highlander.
Like like when you're like basically, you see like one guy in the veterans parade who's like the last of his platoon. I don't think it should end just because there's one. I think you should like basically hold vigil. So every month, the last one just turns up and goes, "Welcome to Slapback Chatfrat.
This week,
all the others are still dead.
Shit myself this week. Fucking hungry.
All the others are still dead. This has been Dan Reed. This
has been Dan Reed. I didn't kill them. Yeah, I don't know. I like to think that I will be the first to go. And
that's the spirit.
Well, I mean, you're up against some stiff competition.
I know Ollie's pretty high. Ollie's a pretty high octane person, isn't he? He's certainly going to burn out quite efficiently.
I mean, because there's so many different ways he could go. It's either by the damage he does to his body, or by misadventure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really, it could be either. It could be getting mugged at gunpoint in Mexico City.
After banging the wife of a drug lord.
Yeah.
She said it would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that way. I mean, it could go. That's the exciting thing. It's not,
mid guitar solo. Like, that would be the best way, wouldn't it? Getting blown on an airplane, lead guitaring.
Yeah. I think just a too strenuous guitar solo, too many pinched harmonics, and just like
drowning in tobacco.
Yeah, well,
what a dream.
What dream indeed.
I like the idea of going back and doing like a Slapback Chatfrat like commentary on all the episodes. Get everybody back together again. Bring all the band back together and just do a commentary on each episode. What was going on here?
I mean, do you think we could get Rob back for the first 3 episodes?
Of course we could. Absolutely. We'd have to have all original cast for each episode that was special that had those special people in it.
It'd be quite hard to do a commentary though, because we're constantly talking. Well, so would it just be like
we pause it? We'd watch a bit and we pause it, and then we go, oh yeah. That was good. I like Le Grommelon.
Or we could just literally talk over the things that we're saying, so it is absolutely incomprehensible.
Oh no, we'd have the actual audio. We'd listen to it, but we'd mute it for when we talk over it, and then we could talk over it. We could even reenact it, the HD
I think
version.
we could mute it and get AI to do the words.
I like that. I like that a lot.
In sync with our mouths moving open.
I'm assuming the AI talks like a robot. Like iRobot, maybe.
I think we've reached a natural end to that.
Okay, well, it's been lovely catching back up again, gentlemen. We'll see you possibly next month with another hot slapback chat frat summer edition. 2023.
Lovely to see you guys too. How many do you think we're going to be next week? Do you think we're down to 2?
Down to 2, yeah. It'll be one of us that won't be able to do it, and then finally we'll have murdered all of us, and it'll be the one man, last man standing. All the money, all the fame, all the.
I think Ollie's going to surprise you.
Yeah,
he's going to
come back.
105. Still going.
Yeah, I reckon. To be completely honest,
he's got a bit of a Keith Richards thing.
Yeah, he will absolutely outlive all of us. He will have pickled himself, preserved. Like he will be out. He will live forever. Maybe. Who knows?
With all those young women who inexplicably like the smell of vinegar.
It's like a sexy chip shop pheromone.
Yeah. All right. Well, lovely to see you guys.
Be safe. Catch you all again. Peace out. 2023. Dude.
Peace out. Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm not signing any more autographs. A little bit of a Ringo Starr reference then.